Hey guys, welcome back to Everyday Acres. So today we're out here prepping food plots in the dove field for Middle Tennessee's deer season and dove season. Dove season's about 10 days away. Today's August 20th. So we grew a sunflower field right here, and today I'm mowing it down, taking the bush hog to it. Probably planted it about 2 weeks too early. It seems like a lot of the goldfinches have ended up robbing us of all the sunflower seed. But we're going to be topsowing with winter wheat today. And then we're going to be spraying our deer food plots. We have one right here. There's a small test plot over here. We're probably going to spray the field. And then back in here, there's another plot. And then we have another plot right behind the blind. This is my first year doing food plots. We just recently acquired this property last summer around this time in August of last year. It's about 30 acres, where 12 acres are this pasture. It's mostly goldenrod, native grasses, ragweed, and a little bit of everything in between in there. And then we have about 10 to 12 acres of woods that go up to the top of this ridge. I'm a complete amateur at all this, beginner. Like I said, we got this property last August, and then I tried to do as much research for food plots as I can. Honestly, it's just a lot of fun building and dreaming about deer coming in and all the future hunts that we can have here on this property. So if you follow me, I'll head on down to these fields, give you kind of an up-close look at what I'm doing, show you a little bit of the property. I'll go and show you a couple of trees that we planted out this way to kind of start making an orchard. Because hopefully my wife and I will end up building a house out here eventually. But that's probably 20 or 30 years down the road, so who knows. But I'd like to get the trees growing as soon as possible, just so, hey, maybe one day we'll have some fruit. So this is actually like my $120 Facebook blind or platform for a ground blind that I made. It's about probably 9 foot tall. I know it's tough to tell, but I actually found an old tree stand ladder that I'm using for a ladder, bunch of old 2x4s. And then somebody was selling like these 6-inch fence posts on Facebook. So picked up, I think 8 of those for, I think it was $5 or $10 a piece. It was pretty cheap. And I got 4 extra just so I can make another one of these. And then all the boards that you see are actually true 2x6s that there's a guy in my town who rips apart industrial pallets, and they use 2x6s, and he would sell those to me at 7 foot long for $3 a piece. So I then had some extra stain laying around, stained it. And it's actually really sturdy. I know it can look a little bit janky. I like it. I tucked it back here in the cedar and in these trees. It gives you a great view. And it's going to be great for a little ground blind for me and my son to hunt out of. He's only like a month old, so I have 4 years for that at least. So making our way from the blind, we're headed down to our sunflower field. I planted this in, I think, early May. I have it all written down on my computer at home to keep notes. But these sunflowers really came into bloom in early to mid-July. And like I said, I think it was just 2 weeks early. If you come here, I was here about a week ago, and the goldfinches were on this really well. And as you can see, there's just not basically any seed on these heads anymore. But I'm going to topsow with winter wheat. Came in here today and bush hogged it. So I'm mowing down all these sunflowers, and then we're going to go and spray these fields. Some of them we're going to spray twice today, and then probably dove season. Some were sprayed about 10 days ago, but I really want to kill it off. And then I'll probably plant in early September or late August, whenever there's a good rain coming. There's nothing really in the forecast right now, so we're going to play it by ear. But here in Middle Tennessee, we really have until like late September, to be honest, to get stuff in the ground. Our first frost date isn't usually until like late October or November, so we kind of have plenty of time. Next year, I do think I'm going to make this either a little bit bigger of a sunflower field, do it at the home school, or move and put it down here. You can't really see, but there we go. There's this big dead tree right there, and we actually own basically all the way down to there. It's probably another 400 or 500 yards, so I could do a really big field over here. This one is probably half an acre tops. Like I said, it was my first year, so just trying to figure it out. Didn't want to get too overwhelmed with everything, so I was trying to keep it kind of small. But all right, we will take the ATV off. We'll get the sprayer going, and then we will get some fields sprayed. Giving you a closer look at my sprayer setup. So like I said, my Honda Fortrax 300, the air on the tires is getting a little bit low, but I'll deal with that later. I got to replace those tires. But here's a sprayer that I actually picked up off of Facebook Marketplace, of course, for 50 bucks. It works great. It is a lifesaver. At first, I thought I could do this all with a hand sprayer, and thank God I picked this up because it makes it so much easier. It's a 3-boom sprayer. I get about 3 or 4 feet on the back. It's hooked up to, I can hook it up to the ATV battery, but I like to just keep this tote on the back for storage. But it's hooked up to a little 6-volt battery. Works really well. I had to rewire it the other day just because the wires were old and kind of fell apart, and there was like 20 extra foot of wire that just kept catching on everything. But as you can see, all you do is flip the switch, and there she goes. So I have about 12 gallons in there, a little bit more, but I just put in about 24 ounces of glyphosate. I'm going to go and spread and kill the field back here, and then spray a couple of the other fields. So stick with me. All right, so that was the first field that we're spraying. It's right by the deer blind, or the future deer blind. It's really small. I mean, maybe like 1/8 of an acre, but I just want a little spot. I had the tractor out, figured why not. It's really no skin off my back. This was just an overgrown little field, so might as well put in a little hidey-hole food plot, give the deer a little bit more, and maybe I'll shoot a doe or a buck out of it, just out of the blind. But I'm going to move on to the next field now, and I'll take you with me. Field number 2 is done. So this field is bigger than that little hidey hole by the blind. Still not massive, but we'll see what it turns out to be like. You can kind of see right here, there's a T-post right there. I planted 3 chestnut trees right there to kind of split what I call like field A versus field B over there. There's this tree row that runs down the middle. I just kind of want to split it off. And right in here is about as far as you can see in the blind. So the blind platform is right there. So this field, like I said, going to get Ryan oats or Ryan clover. It's all kind of the same mix going in. But as you can see, I really like leaving, all this tall vegetation. Right here is probably, almost 4 foot tall. There's no way a deer is going to be able to see the next food plot over. There's actually one right there, probably 50 yards away from here. But all around, just creating cover, making them feel comfortable so that they can come in here and then hopefully stick around. Bucks have to go and check all these fields. I am going to plant this year, just broadcast right into this thatch and then probably roll it or drag over it just to see. I'm testing everything this year. If it doesn't work, I might burn it off next year. I don't really want a disc. I kind of like the no-till method. So if I don't get the best growth, that's fine. But we'll just keep trying every year and see what happens. We are now in what I'm calling a hidey hole. So the sunflower field is right here, and then it comes into this next section that goes in the woods a little bit. So I didn't want to plant it in sunflowers. You can see I threw down some millet and some buckwheat. The buckwheat didn't really take it all, but the millet did. I just got done spraying back here, but the creek crossing or the ditch crossing is right here. And this is a small plot, maybe 1/3 of an acre, tops probably 1/4 acre. I actually bumped out 3 doves in here already, but this is going to be primarily for bow hunting. I am actually going to set up my tree stand in this tree right here, and to where I am, it is about a 20-yard shot. All right, this is that ditch crossing I was telling you about. So I had a guy with a skid steer come in here in the spring and make this crossing. It's hard to tell on camera, but these walls in here are, I'm trying to just show you, but my hand compared to it, they're probably 4 or 5 foot up, because running down the property, separating the woods from the field, is this long ditch. And as you keep going to the east, it gets to be like a 10 to 12 foot drop down there. It's really steep, and just you can see these roots are hanging off and it's just the edges. So there's really nowhere to cross for humans or deer to get to the woods over here. So it was one of my priorities this spring to get them to come in here and dig it out. As you can see, it's a lot of rock in here. But I now have a path going up into the woods, but this also allows deer to cross into the food plots. This is the bottom hidey hole plot. I actually have a camera on that tree right there, and the deer use this crossing a lot. They are animals of least resistance, so they're gonna follow the easiest path. And that was kind of my goal. Whoop, I almost slipped right there. But I'm gonna have a tree stand out here that I'll show you in a second. And it'll give me a perfect like 20-yard shot on deer coming out and coming into the food plot from the woods. We're in the tree that I pointed out earlier. As you can tell, that's the sunflower plot. And then this is going to be that hidey hole plot with clover and everything. The deer are going to come up through the creek crossing right there, or at least theoretically, come up through the creek crossing, come out, headed to the big field. And right about there is like a 20-25 yard shot. So really, really, really great shooting lanes. It's a nice pinch point between that tree row and then this tree row. I might cut a path right here headed to the food plot. You can see I just weed whacked a small walking trail so I can get around. I have a trail mowed through the woods over there to get in here, so I can sneak in here if they're in the field and they won't really see me because you have all this woods behind me. So I can get in here, and then this tree is awesome because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big trunks coming up. So I have a ton of back cover up in here. And I don't think a deer is going to see me at all. I think this is a great, great tree. So I'm really excited to use this. I hope to shoot like maybe a doe or a buck out of this tree. But yeah, it's a great spot. Last field sprayed. So I actually sprayed this field 2 weeks ago, or 10 days ago. Again, these are what I'm just calling a test plot. This one's really small. Sunflower field's right there. Hidey hole, my tree is right there. But just wanted to put this in why not? Like I said, keeping a lot of cover in here. This is a really overgrown field, but it's great for the deer, great for the turkey. Everybody loves it. But just spray this field again to get anything that's coming up. I actually think I just found, looks like we have a little persimmon tree growing in the middle of this food plot, or in the middle of this field. So that's awesome. But then coming over here, that other field we just sprayed is right there. Blind is right there. And then another test plot. This one's a little bit bigger. Like I said, just going to broadcast into all this thatch. We'll probably use the drag harrow to either rake it up or just let it sit. Probably we'll try a couple of different things. Again, test plots. So just trying new things everywhere. But yeah, I really like keeping these walls. It just makes you feel very secluded. Don't really know what a lot of these tree species are in here. I have a lot of goldenrod. There's a lot of blackberry bushes, sycamore trees. These are all honey locusts. So there's a lot of good food in here. Actually really good for the deer and the turkey and everything. And there's not a lot of invasive species. We have some, but it's actually really, really, really nice to have this field like this. So I'm really excited for the deer season to see what comes. But I'm having fun just planting everything and enjoying the day. All right, guys, that's all I got for today. The next time I'm here, I'll be in this field hunting some doves. While I was doing some other work, I had at least like 4 or 5 more doves come in. So I'm excited. It's about 10 days away. We got standing sunflowers. We got sunflowers on the ground. We should be ready to go. Fields are sprayed. Stands are ready. If there's rain, we'll be planting and hunting doves. If there's no rain in the forecast, we'll just be hunting doves. But catch me on the next one. I'll see you guys later. Thank you for watching. Bye.